Me and this collective, we've we've got to talk. We got to talk, cuz the constricting grief that is coming out of left field is intense. So if that's something that you've been feeling, and yeah, oof, I feel like a cartoon with a cloud above my head, right? Where it really is this sort of self curated, self crafted, self cultivated storm. So if you're feeling that, welcome. I'm Izzy. I go by 8th House Mercury here. We're going to dive into this energy, give some clarity, right? This is going to be channeled using divination tools, whatever the heck happens in my videos. If you're new, hi. Tell me, what's your sun, moon, and rising? I'd love to know. I'm a professional astrologer. That's my main language. Been studying for way over a decade at this point, and I have 9 natal chart readings open for the month of September for anybody who's interested. Now, oh, this is my cat. This is Solus. Say hi. Um, Thanks for liking and subscribing and commenting and all this stuff. It keeps his belly full. Okay. So we're going to roll the astro dice here to really tune into this message. We have, there it is, Saturn in Aquarius in the 8th house. We got some Cancer risings here potentially. Saturn in Aquarius, folks. I know I have a vast range of audience of collective members. And this as our starting point for this grief that I'm feeling. And I want to name the grief to begin with because it really is this realization of it feels like a massive aha, and you're just moving through the motions of realizing that the dream that you once had for yourself wasn't actually a dream that was yours. It was a dream that was adopted from the people around you, where they told you that this is how you should be. This is how you should live your life. This is what you should desire. This is what you should go for. And I feel like you've broken free from that. I'm seeing your vision finally opening and breaking free of that and realizing, oh, I don't have to do this. And for some, it feels very, very heavy, like generationally thick is this sort of thread. I'm hearing some people specifically that are maybe second generation immigrants, like where there's like this really rigid, like, no, you have to like go, like you have to do better than what we did, right? You have to do the next step because like of the sacrifice to get here. That felt very specific for some of you. I also keep hearing doe, a deer, a female deer, ray, a drop of golden sun. So some of you might be doing vocal warm-ups. That feels very specific as well, but also Sound of Music. I don't know. I haven't seen that yeah. Anyways, just felt the need to share those, I guess. But coming back to that initial thread, you're now sitting with, what do I want? And that almost feels like a bigger question and maybe a bit too daunting right now because you're still putting to rest the actual old dream, your old dream. Okay. And Saturn in the 8th house has to do with, man, and this is collective dreaming. Yeah. You're a visionary for sure. And maybe you've held a dream for other people, or and I'm getting, that's funny. Like Katniss Everdeen has been coming up where it's like you're kind of put in this position to be this person of influence, and you're like, I didn't really ask for this. Because when we look at the Aquarian energy, Aquarius is the collective consciousness. It is the cerebral, mental, collective mind, right? Hive mind sort of thinking. It's where we're all connected, just how we're connected here on the internet. energetically, we are connected like that too. We just now have this tangible representation of that connection, right? That thread that is woven. And come here. Come on. We'll get some dinner after this piece. Come on. You guys get to hear my soulless voice. Come on. Come here. He's like, mother, feed me. And what's really cool is his voice is like a really, really deep, draconic voice because he's a dragon. So it's like really intense in my mind. Anyways, mother. This is just what you get into when you click on my videos. You get the full range of Izzy. So thank you for receiving me in all of my different facets. Now, tuning back into this, touching back into this, Saturn, when it's in the 8th house, it talks about making clear contracts, right? And the first 30 years of life, if you have Saturn in the 8th house, the first 30 years of life is outsourcing authority with Saturn. Ultimately, that's what Saturn's all about, is outsourcing authority. And this is talking about the unwritten contracts that you've broken a contract, like a really profound contract. And I do feel like for some of you, it is generational. It is like this bigger, like, piece than you have realized, and that's why the grief is weighing so heavy on you. It's almost like, I don't know what to do with myself now, and with that can come anger, can come irritation. I'm feeling like headaches, jaw tension is coming up here. You can lay right there. Okay, careful not on the keyboard. Thank you. I need it. I figured out, by the way, I figured out how to do like a live, like soulless cam for streaming. I go live every Sunday, by the way, friends. Okay, where are we going from here? Spirit! What deck? Okay. Yeah, I heard the curse has been lifted. The curse has been lifted. What's on your mouth? Okay. The curse has been lifted. And it's it's kind of this idea that it feels like trickery. I'm reading a book right now that talks about the Norse pantheon a bit, and thinking of like Loki a bit. And I'm also thinking of if you've seen the show Once Upon a Time, where it's like the curse has been lifted, but now what? Like, how do you, because your whole life has been sort of spearheading or going for this specific goal, and now that it's like not your um it's not your North Star anymore, that's changed. It's sort of like, I don't know what to do now. And so I just pulled 22. Tell me about this. Okay. 22 talks about balance and harmony. We've got Grand Trine. So there is a deep supportive energy around finding new equilibrium and balance. Spirit, how can we support the collective here with this? I heard the grief is a portal because it's going to show you what truly matters. And there's the thing. It's the tension, the T-square. Oh my God, why do they have to keep fucking falling? And we have Cardinal. A Cardinal T-square. Didn't we just, do we have one of those coming up actually? It's frustration around the fact that you can't take action right now, right? There's nothing to act upon. It's about, Spirit really wants to bring you into like the now moment. You don't have to have it solved right now. He's just laying on my desk. I feel like this message is going to be long-winded, and it's only for people who can really be with me in my energy and how I am, right? Because that's a part of the invitation here with these cards, is like, can you just be okay with emotions? Can you be okay with being in the moment? Or do you need to like 2 times speed it? Or do you need to, open your phone and look at something else and switch app to app, right? It's like there's not momentum to take action on, and you had something that you were building towards, and now that vision has changed. So you need to sit with what's coming up. And the 22 in Grand Trine, opposition, about what? Your creativity. Yeah. It's like anything that goes against like you following your joy and pleasure right now, it's like you can't. It almost feels impossible. And or yeah. This is such an interesting message. I really love it though. I do love it. Okay, we're gonna dive into, I just pulled Mars opposition, fifth house Jupiter. There's like what you feel that the world expects you to be versus what you actually feel the desire to create, right? My friend asked me this evening, like what do I dream of? Like what's my dream life? Like what does that look like? And I was hit with a lot of sorrow because I was like, I don't know. We have truth coming out with Althea. Truth about what? Yeah, I really feel okay. I need to articulate this. There is this mass because it's the 11th house and 5th house opposition with Mars over there saying like I need to be of service to the world, to the greater good. This Aquarian energy, but that contract snapped. It's like you did it. You did it. And I almost see like you did what you were supposed to do, which is like helping. There's something about a community effort. There's something here about like I want to give like a tangible example. Like maybe you reached a certain point in your career where it's like you made it to this point where you trained a bunch of people and now they're stepping into different careers and actually moving up, and it's like okay, you could train the next group, but you also grew in that process of training those people, so you need to step into the new thing. And it's also like again where there's sort of this pressure of like, do I even want to be doing this job? Do I want to do this thing? God, I swear, if I'm getting sick, I'm going to be so pissed. I'm feeling that. Okay. Truth, seed, mystic. Just like the seed, I'm chasing the wonder. I unravel myself. Oh, I love this kitty. I love him so much. The mystic, the seed, truth. Like truth is going to be your remedy here, and it's on like you've planted a seed of truth, of your power, a seed of power, a seed of power, and that's what's growing inside of you now. And the fifth house Jupiter energy is saying like you just have to wait for the seed to sprout. You've already planted the intention, and that's where this cardinal energy is getting irritated and frustrated of like, I want this thing to grow. I want to have movement. Can we support the collective in this waiting period? Oh, we have the Queen and the Medallion. I love this because Spirit's literally saying, you're done. You're done. Oh my God, this is such a beautiful thing. Guys, it does not matter how you identify. It's time for you to sit in your feminine receptivity. Like fully sit in your seat of power, seat of power, seat of power, and allow things to come to you. Allow things to come to you. Okay. Yeah. Just like my cat did. I had a dream about him. And he showed up 2 weeks later. Hi, you looking at the... Oh, okay. Well, we're not going to play this game. I'm sorry, that was really rude of me to like initiate that game. So, the support that Spirit's offering you, it's like you don't need to take action on anything right now. You just need to sit and receive because it's your time. It's time. It is time for you. It's time. Okay, there it is. We have the healer and agape. Unconditional love is your answer right now. Oh, bless. It's kind of... Guys, you have to let yourself heal. You have to... Ow, my face hurts. This is such a tense time because it really is. Your reality is reorganizing around you, around the purest form of your frequency. And you no longer being tied to any, I'm hearing allegiances. Like you're free. Like your energy is so free. And so it's like there may be many things that come to you at this time. There might be a lot more than you can chew. And ultimately, you're being invited into stillness, right? Into allowing it's a it's a lot. I'm like, how can I explain this? There's such rich energy. Your entire old self that was basically feels like promised to like people. It's giving like you were supposed to be the savior in your family sort of energy. Like it's really giving like a bit of like savior complex. Like, oh, you're supposed to be the one to free us. You're supposed to be the one to like do it and like evolve and grow and do all this work, and you've been doing it, and then you started growing and evolving, and now you're at this point where you've grown out of that role, and you're looking at it like that wasn't ever me. Who am I? And now you get the opportunity to now grow into your truth, which is somebody who is deeply, deeply aligned with the cosmos and this planetary frequency where you're allowed to receive what you desire because it is human nature. You're not agreeing to play in this like false story that our reality is. You're not, yeah, you are no longer contracted by the false illusions of the greater world. I feel like that's a bigger thread, and it's like finally, like you're free. And I like there's this greater sense in this energy that there's more to come from this. And right now it's like I'm just hearing receive, 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 receive these blessings, receive these blessings, blessings unto you, from me to you. Inner journey. Yeah. Tell me about the inner journey of perception. Yeah. And that's, oh, man, it's like a battle of the wills right now within you, where I'm seeing you in this like deep part of your psyche where like the old version of you, and it's like this fear monster, is like, no, like I'm the boss is kind of the feeling. It's very rich, it's very dark, and it's been fed on by people contracting that part of you. Me, like I'm literally seeing like certain jobs and certain atmospheres and certain people around you had it's like puppeting you is kind of how it feels. And you've cut those strings. And so this inner journey has been asking you to change your perception, and you'll get those moments of like, and I feel like this grief is just like the like what have I been doing my entire life? And there's sort of this grief of like, what do I like what it's this, your memory is like, was any of this real? It really is, and I'm feeling a pain in my heart. Like this feels very intense, and we have omens. You may have seen this somehow. What about the omens? This message feels a bit disoriented, I'm not gonna lie. And then retreat. Retreat was on the bottom, and I shuffled, and it just came out. You'll know. What's that omen gonna be? Can we get a clear sign of like what the... Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This like Sorry, I'm just staring at the cards. I got the mentor, the comic, and the riddle. And again, I already spoke to Loki energy, so trickster energy. Um, some of y'all just need to take a step back, like a big step back from the people around you, like a big step back. Because right now, energy is not clear. Some people are not who they say they are, and I'm not really one to go into that. And I feel like a part of this is like you already heard the call to retreat and you did retreat, and the fact that you took a step back and now you're observing, you're like, yeah, people are not who they said they were. And yeah, maybe people that you looked up to, right? Maybe you put a false persona onto them and they're just people too, right? There's that sort of edge in this too. But also, like, or there's like a darker force that's working through these things and this took a fucking weird turn. I feel like there's some very specific people that I'm reading for right now where um there's a part of your mind, again, like this internal battle where it's like there's a part of you that has been controlled unwillingly. And please use your fucking discernment with this energy. um I'm able to see where some of these threads that I'm speaking to for myself, like how that shows up, where I can look at like my family and how like their certain words and actions have caused me to make certain choices, right? That's kind of how I'm seeing this. But for some of you, it might be a little bit deeper than this, where you have had like some um entities connecting with you and maybe tricking you, playing a little bit of a trick on you, which makes me really sad. So again, that's where this like, how do we, yeah, you have to do an inner journey to look at your perception. And again, if anything is telling you that you have to go out and go get this thing, whatever this thing is, right? That's not real, because the truth of this, and oh God, I hope this is making sense. The truth of this energy is like when you sit in your power and you sit back and you allow things to come to you that are actually for you, they will. And that's the shift in this energy. That is like the truth of this energy, of what is coming up right now, of this balance and this equilibrium. Like it really feels like yeah, it's making me think of, if anybody's seen like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, where like they've got the like candy catcher, like kid catcher, right? Like where we're all like, don't take candy from a random person. Like it's kind of like that, where it's like there's this sort of trickery energy that's like, oh, if you just come, like enter this, like if you come to me, right, asking you to step outside of yourself and to go do something or say something or share something that isn't true to you, we got to watch that. Because the energy that, yeah, and they're showing me two pathways where they're sort of the, okay, I'm like, what? Okay, Spirit's confirming that I'm right on this. Some people have been, there's been a lot of delusion in the air, an illusory energy, right? I started this message about like the grief, right? And the grief is realizing that like you broke free from these illusions. And I feel like I'm kind of going backwards and trailing back to maybe that initial point of realizing like this isn't truth, because I know what truth is, and truth is inside of me, and it's unconditional love. And that people that have my best interests are actually always going to be truthful with me, and I can feel their truth within me. Like I know the vibration of truth. Okay. Okay, that jumped out. We have the offering popping out and the siren. Oh my God. I know that like I know that some other readers were picking up on this energy. I didn't listen to their videos, but like all over my FYP, So this must be a big thing that's happening. I'm not gonna lie. We have offering, the siren, the mirror, and the mountain. And this is like, it's giving like Ursula, like, I'll give you, like, if you just give me your voice or whatever, I'll give you legs. And it does, like, maybe it has to do with your appearance. We have the mountain is you, or the mountain card coming out, which I always grab this book to do some book divination with this. For some of you, yeah, what the I'm just gonna keep reading the energy because I trust that this is supposed to find somebody. Okay. How do we help them with this? I got an itch on my back. I heard watch your back. And like not like that felt like a manipulative energy, like where it's like something's trying to keep you like in a scared state. And I keep touching this eye because there's like a hair in it and it's bugging me. Okay. Here. Okay. Trauma is not in your head, it's in your body. This is the yeah. Yeah, building, this is chapter 6, building a new future, meeting your highest potential future self. And then releasing your past into the quantum field. That is what is being asked of you now to move through this, because I like, this might be, again, going back to this like past version of you, it might be, again, I like, for some people it might be actual like malefic energy that you've been engaging with by not being safe in your magic practices. That's one avenue. For some of you, this might be like a manipulative person in your life that's actually doing this. For others of you, it's your fear. It really is that deep rooted fear that's trying to keep you safe and keep you comfortable. And that's where it says, this chapter, when something happens that scares you and then you do not ever get over that fear, you become traumatized. Trauma is the experience of disconnecting with the fundamental source of safety. It happens most severely when our attachment to our primary caretakers is compromised. But there's truly an infinite numbers of ways the world can traumatize you in varying degrees. There's lots of theories about the trauma and where it comes from. Some believe that it's passed down through um, psychic comes physically. Why can I read the word physically through DNA? Others argue that it's shared mentally and emotionally through learned patterns and observations. Most commonly, trauma is believed to be a interpersonal experience we have, were in which we were challenged and lacked the skills and coping mechanisms to rise to it. No matter where it came from, you have some kind of lingering trauma that you will know because you'll feel it. You'll feel it physically in your body. You'll feel anxiety, tension, fear, terror, sadness, or guilt. It will be displaced. It will never have a clear or direct cause. You will overreact to certain things, and even when a problem is solved, you will still panic. This is the mark of trauma. Trauma is not in your head, it's in your body. This is the first and most important thing that you need to know in order to overcome it. Trauma is a legitimate physical issue. You store these emotions, energies, and patterns at a cellular level. Thankfully, we can use the ripples at the top of the water to trace back down to the problem at the bottom. That's literally what I was seeing. It's almost like you found like this, the visual that I got was like, I'm seeing like your highest self meeting your deepest trauma and fear at the lowest part of yourself. And it feels like root safety, like the lowest part, like right there at the root chakra, the base of the spine, right? Tail of the spine, right? And I'm like, and it really is like this battle of the wills. And I'm sorry if I caused a bit of fear with the conversation, but it's kind of like how intense this energy is, and it sweeps in and it kind of like grabs you by the throat and is like, you can't do it, you are going to fail. Whatever it's doing. Okay. First, identify what caused traumatic experience. You do this by feeling into yourself and noticing where you're tight or tense. So our body's hardened to protect us. When we have a broken leg, Our fascia tightens like a natural cast so that we do not bend ourselves that way again. Similarly, when our hearts are broken, our emotions tighten so that we do not let ourselves feel again. Of course, eventually we have to walk, we have to love, we have to experience life again. We have to slowly soften the pieces that are trying to protect us so that we can move forward. This goes on. This book's, if you have Spotify Premium, this book is on there, and or buy it and support the author. Again, this is chapter 6. Second, reinstate a sense of safety. So you'll do that. I'm trying to find the how you do that. If you're traumatized about relationships, you need to build healthy relationships. If you're traumatized about money, you need to get really good with money. If you're traumatized about traveling, you need to travel again. So there's sort of this like entering into this space again. Third, stop taking thoughts and feelings at face value. That's been coming up in the astrology, which I went live on Sunday talking about this. So there is this, we're going to have Mars squaring Neptune, which I think a lot of this emotions are coming to a head right now. That actually is going to be peaking by the time this video is out. So sounds about right. Last, to overcome trauma, you have to stop engaging in psychic thinking. You have to stop pretending you're able to predict what will happen, that you know what other people, what their intentions are, or that you feel and think and is absolute truth and reality. This kind of thinking is what takes a triggering feeling and turns it into a defeating spiral. You're not an oracle. You do not know what's next, though you're always capable of choosing what you do now. Isn't that ironic, myself as an oracle telling you that you're not? I I feel like maybe you might be using readings to like figure out the next, right? And that's been a coping mechanism. And may this reading be the one that sets you free of like, yeah, actually, like you don't always know what's going to go next. Something that really helped me in this book actually was one of those like mental triggers that like shifted some of my ways that I thought. I used to like be always on guard and always prepared no matter where I went. Head on a swivel, always aware, but I would always go into this story and my body didn't know the difference because I was like, well, what if I get kidnapped and what if somebody like shows up at like comes to my car door and breaks the window and like I would go into all these extremes and I'd be like, okay, I'm prepared. But my body already had gone through that trauma. So I was literally just in a constant state of traumatizing myself. I now know that I'm able to handle any situation that I'm put in. And that I don't have to like do this whole story and spiraling to have it figured out. And I feel like that's important to share with you guys because what's coming for you is not bad. It's healing and it's deep unconditional love and it's like truth and being surrounded by truth. And I feel that this is all coming up right now ultimately so that you are now surrounding yourself in environments that truly support safety within you, that truly support your deepest desires, that is a fertile ground for this version of you now. Yeah. And that might be the scariest thing because it's new and it's unknown. Okay, we're going to pull. Ah, I know what we're going to pull. One last card. My cards are all skittywampus in here. I love that word. Who invented? Where is that word from? You guys are gonna go on a little researching rabbit hole with me. New tab, skittywampus. Meaning skittywampus, or spelled as cattywampus or catawampus, is a regional American slang meaning crooked, askew, diagonal, or out of alignment. Interesting. I love that. I love that. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Learning things with Izzy. All right. To wrap up this reading, we're going to get a fairy oracle for you guys. Ooh. Okay. Compassion. I didn't check this card. Okay, they're not. Okay. Some of these fairies are nude. Okay, compassion, 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 compassion. Compassion. Every act or expression is either an extension of love or a cry for love or healing. Wherever there's a reaction, there is fear. For what is not love is fear and nothing else. All beings have one longing, to know their true self, to know love, and to heal their sense of separation. When you come in when you come to recognize this, you'll be able to see the innocent light within one who is reaching. Ooh, let me restart that. When you come to recognize this, you will be able to see the innocent light within the one who is reacting or bound within their drama. You will also be able to realize while they may have chosen fear instead of love, it will not serve them or yourself to join them in their fear. True compassion is to shine the light of truth by being a presence of love and by allowing love's guidance to lead you to act in a way that extends love and serves their healing. And ultimately, I see you settling into like the thing that's going to heal you is unconditional love. And I'm seeing you sit in your power and allowing your fear to consume you in a way. It's almost like I'm seeing it as this like darkness that's like trying to like attack you, and you just being so centered in yourself. And it's like your own, it's like an autoimmune disease where like your white blood cells are attacking you. But it's literally like they'll attack and then your composition is so astound and divine and light that it breaks them into more profound love. And that's what's happening inside of you. And that, like, wow, goddamn, for us to just finally get to the point at the end of this reading. It's breaking you free at a cellular level. What you're moving through right now. This is profound healing that is happening. All right. I'm going to leave this here. I love you guys so much. Thank you for liking, for sharing, for commenting, all the things that you guys do. It supports my channel, watching the ads, whether you have them play in the background, those kinds of things. Thank you. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.